most of the time, spiritual people on spiritual paths, and especially people who want to explain something from it, most of the time those people say that they don't fear death. They don't fear death. They don't fear the great unknown because they know that their God will take them away inside of another dimension or heaven or whatever. But I have to admit to myself and that I fear it. I fear death simply because I've seen what it is. I've seen what death is. I've seen what the other sides are. And it's very simple to say from spiritual people, it's heaven or hell. Well, it's more complicated than this. And I've seen the void of Leviathan. And it's not going to be the same after it. So take the life that we have to take everything from it. You have to respect life, but also enjoy it. Because this is a wonderful gift that we have to live inside of this physical realm in on the side of the dragon. The dragons should not be afraid because the dragons, they are actually they are the spirit of death itself, because they are travelers. They can go wherever they want without a closed gate in front of them. And that is also living within us. We are also travelers. That is the reason why I have seen the void, why I have seen the dragon, why I have seen a lot of other different kind of gates. Simply because we are a part of the spirit of death, and we can travel, we can see things, we can experience things that no other people can do. And that is simply because of our dragon eye. Our dragon eye doesn't let go of our dragon energies and also the dragons that belong to us, that show us what we are and how we can do things. The first time when I've seen the dragon eye, it was inside of a book. I have to admit, I learned, the first time I learned about the dragon eye inside of a book. But it was not the way how I used it. It was a very old book. And it explains how the dragon eye can summon dragons. The dragon eye can summon dragons. And I said, oh wow, maybe I should use this. In the instructions of this book, it said that the wizard or warlock needs a sword and to punch it inside of the dragon's eye, in the center of it, and needs to stand inside of it because the dragons can be there attacking you. That is what it said. But with the dragons summoned, you can have great power. You can have great forces that is surrounding you. Whenever the dragon is there, it can be that your spirit gets an upgrade. Of course, the upgrade is traveling. The upgrade is also using a manipulation, which means dragon magic. That is what the book said. And it described a couple of dragons like Tiamat and the terrible Fafnir. That is what it said. The terrible Fafnir, the horrifying Fafnir. And also Tiamat was not described as a goddess, but just a dragon inside of this book. So yeah, the dragon's eye. We all have a different dragon eye. The dragon eye means your connection with your dragons. I mean, the dragon lives on other different kind of gates. They live on other planes, other dimensions. And whatever they are still having connection with you. That is what the dragon's eye wants to say. This connection doesn't stop, of course, with just you being here in this physical realm. The dragons are still there. And I came to understand more and more, and I wanted to experiment more with the dragon's eye. So the first time that I used it, I thought that I didn't need these instructions. Of course, the wizard used his sword to punch the center of it. But I didn't use a sword, I used a knife. But there was a voice in my head that said, don't do it like this. And I waited actually for instructions inside of my head. What do I have to do? I said, and I had to actually put a little bit of blood inside of this knife. Just a little bit, just a little drop, just a tiny pinch, and then put it inside of the center. And don't expect anything. Because in this book it said that you desire great power from the dragon. Well, I don't desire great power. I just desire the dragons themselves. I do not have a wish for the dragon. I do not want power. I just want to be with them. That is my only desire. And that is also what I came to understand is the only reason why you can use this sign. This is the sign of the dragon. The first time that I ever used this was many years ago, and it was not with the intention of what the book said, that I wanted to have this power, because this is actually something that I didn't want. To see all of these realms, to see the void. I didn't want to experience this. This made me go insane for a moment. So that there are so many gates, and there is a way to open them. There is a way to open the Dragon's Gate. There is a way to open Leviathan's Gate. There are so many ways. We can do this. We can open gates with the spirit of the dragon within you and the spirits of the dragons around you. You have the authority to open up the gates because of your dragon eye. Because you do not use the dragon eye. You are a dragon eye. You have it. That is why the dragon will never ever attack you. The dragon will only respect you whenever you are using it with all of the desire that you have for the dragon, and not the desire for power. Not the desire to know everything. Not the desire to be powerful, but the desire just simply to be with the dragon and remember everything. That is what your dragon eye is doing. Your dragon eye makes you remember. Your dragon eye makes you connect with them. I mean, there are three different kind of gates that needs to be opened. That is what the dragon eye wants to say. 3 different gates, or the draconic trinity, that needs to be opened. The 3 claws of the dragon can also be said. The 3 scratches. And one of these claws marks are from you. One of them. And that is why you will never let go of your dragons. And that is what it makes so beautiful about this dragon eye. It connects with your dragons. And when you use this as a toy or something to abuse this, well, think again, this will backfire immediately. That is why it said you need to stand inside of the triangle to be protected, because once the dragon is there, they are not wanting to give you power or something like this. If you have bad intentions, if you have selfish intentions, just like this book was actually saying, if your actions are selfish and you are using the dragon's eye, then standing inside of the triangle is not a bad idea. But just simply don't use our sign, the dragon sign, the eye of the dragon. Don't use it for personal gain. Because I used this once, and later on, I came to understand much more about traveling, and I was fearing death. I hated the fear. I hated the fear in itself. I hated the feeling of fear, and I hated death. And I'm so afraid of everyone or anything that dies instead of them. I mean, I'm an empath. On the dragon's path, I became an empath. I felt everything from animals to humans, whatever they are feeling. And I feel a lot of fear, much fear, and they have reason to, because this is not heaven and hell. Like in religions are saying, if you are a good man, you go to hell, or heaven, I mean. If you are bad, you go to hell. If you are good, you go to heaven. It's not as simple as that. This is not reality. If it was like this, I shouldn't be afraid, but I am very much. And that is very strange for a spiritual man to say, I'm afraid of death. Simply because I've seen it. Simply because I am death. My spirit is death. That is why I fear it. I've seen so much fear. I felt so much fear, so much darkness. On the dragon's eye, I use the dragon's eye as well as comforting. To have comfort, to let myself remember that there is still the dragons around me. And the dragon that lives here is you. The dragon that lives over there, your guardians, the spirits next to you. The dragons that live over there, the gods nature in itself, the power of nature in itself, all coming together in the centerpiece. If you don't have a connection with them, and you try to make a connection with them, then you don't use this, because this is asking them to come. For the book said that it was a way to summon dragons. But there is only one way in my eyes, and that is just to have a relationship with them from the beginning, and just asking them to be with you. Just simple, and expecting nothing from it. Just simply to be with them. Because you already have the powers of the dragon. You just need to awaken them. That is also what your dragon eye is trying to do. To awaken the powers that you have if you want them. Because I never asked them. And yet now I am afraid. I fear. I have so much fear. Fear for the ones that I love. Fear for myself. Fear of what is going to happen. Fear of what I'm going to do later on. Will I join the dragons, or will I stay forever in the void? Will I just rot away? I fear it. I'm not going to lie. Simply because I can travel. And I didn't want to travel. I can travel ever since I was a little child. I've seen things, a lot of things, that I didn't want to see. And yet I experienced, because your spirit of the dragon is a traveler. A trinity that will never die. And you are one of the 3 places. You are one of the dragons. You are one of the spirits. A dragon eye is very sacred. It is our sign. And we all see through the eyes of the dragon.